At first, it was just a thought. It was just a word, that you heard, you know, a sentence that you might have heard about yourself, images that you might have seen, um, that they were meant to be brief in time, but you went and you revisited that thought over and over and over. And a thought on repetition is a belief. It becomes a belief. It becomes, in your mind, a fact. But it's not a fact in another person's mind because they weren't exposed to that. Welcome to I Think I Can podcast. My name is Luella Young. I am a woman who believes that we, like wine, get better with age. Age brings us wisdom, intuition, and a level of sophistication that is beyond the reach of youth. I am here to tell you that living a luxuriously rich and fulfilling life is in your reach. I Think I Can podcast will teach you to think differently in order to get different results. Allow me to show you how to do life effortlessly. This podcast is for the woman who is tired of playing by the rules of society, community, religion, parents, and partners. I Think I Can is all about becoming brave, authentic, purposeful, and strong. Listen weekly and you will find yourself living a life you could have only once dreamed of. Thoughts drive our physiology, so channel your thoughts with me into a life truly worth living. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome back to I Think I Can podcast. Today I'm just doing a solo episode. No real reason for me doing a solo episode. Just felt like I wanted to get on and just talk to myself, I guess. When you think of it, it's a little odd, but I know you're all listening. And you can also check me out on YouTube if you feel you're curious. I post all my episodes on YouTube, and so maybe if you need a little lesson or message and you want to see me rather than just listen, you can always do that as well. I welcome you there. So today, when I sort of thought, what do I want to talk about today? There's so many different topics. Um, I just decided to talk about what has been spoken about, I think the most, or a theme this week that I've had with my clients, and that is the theme of self-worth and worthiness, and to realize we all have so much more potential than we think we have. And yeah, it just centers so much around it's how you show up in life, really. If you're wondering if someone has worthiness about themselves, just all you need to do is look how they show up, right? I mean, are they a person that has a lot of anger, a lot of envy, a person that blames and complains all the time? There's that aspect of it, and actually, a lot of people don't see that as being related to worthiness, but it really is. Let's say someone who is very spiteful, and let's say that person, when they're in an argument or a discussion, they go quickly to criticism, and or maybe contempt. And if they're going to do that, what does that say about themselves? It says, I think it says, I need to put you down in order for me to feel better about myself. And that's not a really nice way to have a conversation, is it? Right? Like I need to win and then you lose and then I'm a better person. And the odd thing about that though, I feel is that, I mean, for any of us who have done that and practiced that way of having a discussion, if you're a human being, I know for a fact that after retreating from that discussion, argument, whatever you want to call it, that you are going to feel um, badly. You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel bad. You're going to feel bad because you, well, like I said, because you're a human being. And you might want to distract yourself from that that feeling, and maybe you do. You know, you don't even process it. You choose not to process it. It's like not going to feel that way. You know, on to the next thing, whatever, on to the next task. But if you actually did take the time and sit in that sadness and you know, that disgust of yourself because you weren't playing fair, then you know, what are you going to do to change? And a lot of people don't know what to do to change. I mean, I actually have a lot of um, clients coming, especially, I'm just going to say, especially men that see them, that see that they have no buffer of their anger. You know, they just can't seem to control the anger. You know, they might see it that they're more often having road rage, that comes up quite often, that they just have road rage all of a sudden. And I think, you know, that also relates to just feeling overwhelmed and, you know, that the world is sort of against you. Again, it relates to the pity party being very egocentric and you know, because really in life we're all star of our own movie, our own show, right? Whenever we're hurt in life and we start feeling sorry for ourselves, I mean, you know, it's just me, myself, and I in that little pity party that we're having. When you know, you might try to practice, you know, the law of relativity, for example, and just sort of like comparing myself in my situation to this, that, or the other. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then reminding yourself that I can I can choose to feel like this and sit with this and give justification, you know, for the next 3 hours of why, you know, my life sucks. Or I could choose to think differently. I could choose different thoughts which are going to give me different feelings and different emotions. So again, gratitude, you know, that's what I mean by practicing the law of relativity. You can easily shift out of that. Gratitude is very powerful and it does uplift you. And you know, more and more people need to practice that because you're not, you know, there's other players in your life. There's other people in your life, and it's not just all about you in your situation. Um, so kind of getting back to the whole worthiness, it's it does relate to worthiness what I just said to you, because if you're gonna if you're gonna feel sorry for yourself and sad for yourself, let's say, yeah, you heard some really bad news and but someone that you know has heard really good news, you know, job promotion, they're expecting having a baby, they just bought a new house, they their career is just, skyrocketing or whatever. And you're comparing yourself to that person, and you get into this whole like, this is not fair. Why do you get to be happy and I am not happy? Well, again, that's your choice, and like, if you can't celebrate with that other person, it means that it's all about you. And um I think it also says that, you don't feel that you're worthy of happiness, that you can't get to that next level of emotion, that you can't uplift yourself from wherever you are right now, elevate yourself, elevate that energy. Why do you feel that you're not worthy of elevating yourself? Because you are. Like, good things can come to you if you do the work, if you expect them to come to you, if you make it a decision that I'm worthy of the most amazing relationship, or I'm worthy of, being compensated very well in the work I do. I'm worthy of, you know, living in a different location, or yeah, like, just, starting my own business or whatever. Like, the only thing that's keeping you from attracting and manifesting what you want in life is the belief that you can't do it. Somehow, somewhere, from the time you were born to where you are right now, a seed of disbelief was planted in the ecosystem of your mind. When you think of it, there was a lot of great little seeds that were probably planted in your mind. But then there's probably other seeds that should have never landed there and that are actually weeds. And it's time that you start pulling those weeds out and planting, much more seeds that are of a growth mindset. It's sort of like reminding yourself of how you used to think when you were a child. Like, there was no limit. The sky was not a limit when you were a kid, right? It's sort of like, I want this and I'm going to have it, right? Like, in the middle of the grocery aisle, I want this chocolate bar, and hell or high water, I'm going to have it. No is not an answer for them until you drag them out of the store and explain to them, you just can't have it. But in the moment, there's just not like, their belief is that they can have that chocolate bar, they deserve that chocolate bar. And it's up to us as parents to kind of guide them and explain why, but in terms of as an adult mind, we, there's no, in terms of somebody else having success and we don't, in whatever aspect of life that is, the only difference between them and yourself is the fact that you don't believe that's possible to you. It might not be the exact same type of success, but success is possible for anybody. You just have to find your zone of genius. You just like, what do I do that I do very, very well, and that people want more of, and just do it. What do I do very well and that people need more of? And the things that you do very well are obviously the things that you love doing. I mean, that's where you excel. Because then it's not work. And some people have a difficulty kind of even knowing what that is. But it's something for everybody. There's something for everybody. If you can, I mean, you see it all over, right? Like it's, I think we all see it. It's like, why didn't I think of that? Or, um, I can't believe they're actually making money doing that. You know, so many different inventions or like quirky little things that are invented and everybody's gone out to buy it. It's just like, wow, you got to realize that these people believed in their product or in their service, and they had enough worthiness and love for themselves to realize that if they focus on it enough, if they put all their attention towards it, they will accomplish their goal. Hard work and lots of self-love can carry you a long, long way, while also loving everyone else around you, right? We're not talking about narcissistic personalities or, being way too egocentric. It's sort of like, when you love yourself, you you love others as well. You want the best for others as well, and therefore you're not jealous, you're not envious, you don't complain about your situation, and you celebrate other people's happiness with them. Because what you're saying there is, you know I'm so happy for you because you have now proven that I can do the same, because I'm also a human being and I know you have flaws and I have flaws. So really, we're no different. You just started to believe in yourself and believe of your skills and, you know, your mind and your power. And that's the only thing that makes us different. So let's say that, something happened in your life where you feel that I have a lot of difficulty loving myself. Maybe it was something that happened to you when you were an adult, but maybe it was something that happened to you as a child. We have to let go of that past because it's done. It simply cannot be changed. Any adult decision you made in your lifetime that you regret, you've learned, like, let it go. You learned, you'll never do it again. Big deal. Yeah, it might have cost you whatever thousands of dollars, whether that was a really bad investment or a really bad, yeah, whatever, financial decision, or maybe it was even a relationship that you realized, you were not in a good place, and you're the cause of that breakup of the relationship. And I mean, you can sit again in a pity party and regret and justification and whatever it might be, but where does that take you? Absolutely nowhere. So let's start, building a new belief about yourself and see where that can take you. So where was I going with this? I sort of lost my train of thought. That's the problem about not having notes in front of you or a client to redirect you back. But just, yeah, in terms of worthiness and self-love, it's like, if you don't rejoice in the other person and celebrate their wins, and that's just a great way of reminding yourself that, if they do it, so can I. If and because what you're seeing in front of your eyes is that this person met a problem, um, but it's not really a problem. It's sort of it's just a thought. I mean, you're making it the problem when you think of it. Like, so for example, they want to start up a business, but their bank accounts is not telling them that they can start up a business right now. So their problem is that I don't have the funds to start up a business. Well, again, drop the problem and just see it as a thought. Okay, the thought is that um, I'm lacking the funds. Well, okay, now that I had this thought, how do I gain funds? How do I, source out funds another way? Maybe it can be, you know, yeah, what is that called? Startup, like whatever, GoFundMe page, whatever that might be. There's always an answer. There's always an answer if you are focused on your goal and you believe in yourself. There's always an answer. Um, but it's the belief, it's the trust, it's the faith, trust, and pixie dust, from Walt Disney. It's and Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. I think it's faith, trust, and belief dust. You just need to believe in yourselves. You need to realize that you're everything. Like you're worthy of massive compensation, that you are beautiful just as you are, with all your weird quirks, with all your, you know, inadequacies. It's like, but you're perfect in every, in everything alongside those quirks. Like, for those that are looking for a lasting relationship, I mean, it's your quirkiness, it's your, you know, indecisiveness, it's your um uh your crooked nose, um it's your loud laugh, it's your whatever it is, whatever you're telling yourself that that's the reason why you can't find true love. That's the reasons, those are the reasons why they want to be with you. I mean, whether it's, yeah, like, I mean, that's why people fall in love. It's all your good things as well as all the bad things, the things that you're shooting yourself on. Like, I should be looking more like this, or I should be thinking more like this, or I should be in this job and not that job, and whatever that might be, right? What you have to realize is that everyone has these thoughts, but the successful people out there are the ones that are not paying attention to those thoughts. They don't jump on the thought and ride that thought all their lives. It's just a thought. It's a dark thought. And I'm just going to let that dark thought, like a dark cloud in the sky right now, just pass right over me. Why am I paying attention to that thought? Why am I paying attention to that cloud when there's another white fluffy cloud in the sky? Let me focus on that cloud. They're all clouds. They're all neutral. And they're all temporary. That's the thing. You can make it permanent if you keep on believing in it over and over and over again. A thought on repetition becomes a belief. So that's what I mean. Like a lot of these, unfortunately, limiting thoughts that we have about our potential in what we want to succeed in life, just like the little seed that was planted in your mind, that thought was planted in your mind. At first, it was just a thought. It was just a word, that you heard, you know, a sentence that you might have heard about yourself, images that you might have seen, that they were meant to be brief in time, but you went and you revisited that thought over and over and over. And a thought on repetition is a belief. It becomes a belief. It becomes, in your mind, a fact. But it's not a fact in another person's mind because they weren't exposed to that. So my point is, if that fact, you believe it's a fact, is not serving you in life, change the fact, change the belief, change the story that you've been telling yourself over and over. Just change it. Decide today to change it. I love living by the motto of it's not an option in my world. It's just not an option. What does that mean? Well, it's not an option for me to fail in my business. That is just not an option. It's not an option for me to, allow someone to continually disrespect me over and over. That's not an option. It's not an option for me, whatever your values are. Like, I mean, if you value, let's say you really value spirituality, you really, really value it. It's not an option that you end up, marrying someone who thinks spirituality is all woo-woo crapola. And I mean, that's just that, like, that's what I'm telling you. It's sort of like, it's almost like you're like, what's a word? It's such a strong distaste that like you just sort of like almost fling yourself back from it. It's like, okay, this is not an option. It's, and then, it's any sort of thing that you have such a strong belief in, like even the color of your hair, right? If someone tells you, or like, let's say you have a beard and you love your beard, you rock your beard. And if someone walks by you and says, that is an ugly beard, I hate that beard. But you know for a fact in your mind, it's your belief that your beard rocks. Then you're going to look at that person and you go, no. See, like for you, it's not an option to believe that. So you see how, like, it's just your choice every single day in terms of what you want to choose to believe and what, you don't believe. And I'm telling you that when it comes to reaching success in life, if that belief is not serving you, meaning if that belief is what's standing between you and success, then change the belief that you need, oodles of money to start a business. You need, let's say, I need a supportive husband or a supportive partner in order to be able to do this. No, you don't. You just do it because you believe in it. You'll figure it out. You do that by having conversations. I mean, you do that by, taking accountability of your actions, obviously, and just realizing, well, if this, and this happens, this, and this is the plan. And I mean, you know, it just, it's, you don't need to know how per se. It's like you don't even need to know the steps, I guess is what I'm saying. You just need to believe in yourself and your power. And you'll see that focusing on that goal is all you need, and continually tell yourself, well, that's not an option. And if it goes that way, then I'm going to go this way. I mean, you're always course correcting in this game of achieving success, because we're always going to be met with fears, and and we're always going to get very, very scared. Because what is fear? Fear is not trusting. Fear is having faith when there's no evidence around you. And despite not having evidence, you still move ahead. That's true faith. And that's true trust of yourself. To, despite, what we say, the laws of the senses, what you can see in front of you, like what your situation is right now, despite seeing that you are living, that you're living in a, let's say, in a van down by the river, despite you seeing that, despite the smell of the river, despite the touch of uh, your grimy, seats of the van, despite, like, all the laws of the senses, um, you still believe that you're going to be a very wealthy, successful, whatever that might be. And there's no shame in wealth either. Wealth, money gives people freedom, gives people power. I mean, you can be the most spiritual, religious person and still realize that money is in the hands of good people. Money can do very, very good things, right? Very good things. So there should be no shame about money, or the idea that, there's a lack of money, um, either for me or in the world, or, well, that person's successful already. So they've taken control of that industry, or I can never be as good as that person. And, they're so successful. It's sort of like, no, there's money printed out at the mint every single day. There's tons of money floating around. There's money for everyone. There's no lack of money out there. So go for it. Go for it. But it all starts with self-love and worthiness of what you can be. And despite the fear, despite not having the evidence, despite, not being able to see or smell or taste or touch whatever it is that you long and desire for, that you're still going to get it. It's not an option. To you, it's a fact. And to be in joy and happiness throughout the whole journey that you're going to go on. Like, because we all have off days. We all have off, what I call funky days. It's like, I don't know what's happening to me today. but I'm not feeling maybe aligned to my goal. What I was so passionate about yesterday, I'm not feeling it now. I'm feeling lack. I'm feeling inadequacy. I'm feeling like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm I was so confident yesterday and now, I'm not. And let's face it, it could be, I mean, someone you're comparing yourself to, like I said before, someone else celebrating some winning success, and you're just like, okay, they're there, I'm here. It's hard some days, to believe in yourself. And it's normal to feel funky around something like that. But just again, I feel gratitude is very important. And then, start practicing gratitude and going, yes, but I have this and I have this and I have this. But also, I haven't really mentioned this before, but using your imagination, visualizing whatever it is that you're going after, and using that power of dreaming, the power of imagining, the power of visualizing what you want, whether that's closing your eyes and just being there, feeling, touching, smelling, whatever it is you want, and just marinating in that, you'll see that the corners of your mouth all of a sudden start right. How can they not? Because you're there. You're like, whatever you're desiring, whatever you're dreaming of being, you're there in your mind's eye. You're there. So you can imagine yourself, throwing a celebration party, or, if you're living in a different country, you're actually smelling and seeing, what that is. And you can see yourself laughing. You can see yourself just maybe dancing. You can see yourself like opening up a bottle of champagne and just, or hiking up that mountain, or, being at the base camp, just ready for the hike, talking to your, this new group of friends that you are now with, or new group of colleagues. And like, it's different for everybody, right? Like what success means, feels, tastes like, and embody that feeling, just like be there in that feeling. And if you're doing that right now while you're listening to me, come on, don't tell me you're not uplifted. Don't tell me you're now at a higher state of energy than you were, 3 minutes ago. You are. If you're really using visualization, and if you're really, practicing already being there, don't think of just being there. Feel like it's what it's like being there. Be there. Be there. Feeling that you're there, because feeling is energy. So you have to bring the feeling and the emotion. You can't just, stare at your vision board and just kind of expect to be happy. No. And, there's a lot of things said about vision boards. I mean, I know that for a lot of people, it's been very, very successful for them, to wake up every morning and to see their vision board pasted somewhere, in their room or above their bed or whatever that might be. For me, it doesn't do it. I don't know, maybe I haven't tried enough or whatever. I much rather, um, I much rather just use my mind. Much rather just close my eyes and visualize it in my mind's eye, what that looks like. And if you've never, like, obviously some people say, well, I'm not there yet, so how would I even just imagine what that is? I mean, we don't tap into our imagination as much as we should. It's a lost skill from childhood. You did it all the time when you were a child. Why aren't you doing it now? It's incredibly powerful. Do it. Start imagining. Go to bed at night, imagining what your ideal life would be, what success would be for you. Imagine it. Be there and fall asleep like that at night. Surrender to it. Just surrender. Just relax your body and just, take that deep breath and just surrender to it. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. Why not do that more? It's not daydreaming. It's being there. To me, daydreaming is not really focusing on anything. It's just sort of like, it's zoning out. Maybe zoning out is, to me, is more daydreaming. I like purposeful imagination, whatever that might be called, but it's dreaming what you're having one day. It's very purposeful, it's very focused. And that to me also reminds me of, sitting down. Everybody should be asking themselves, what do I really want? What do I really want? Because if you don't know what you really want, you are going to be daydreaming through life. It's like, I don't know, like, how the heck are you supposed to align, with your destiny if you don't even know what your destiny is? No wonder you're walking around like you're sleepwalking in life and you have no purpose, no meaning, no identity. It's because you're not focused. You're not focused on your goal, your dream. You're not thinking about it every single day. So if you're not conscious of that, how does your conscious mind have a conversation with your subconscious? Your subconscious is the small child within you kind of going, hey, I'm your genie. Your wish is my command. But if your conscious mind is kind of going, duh, I don't know. Or if it's kind of going, well, I'm not very good looking, I'm kind of stupid, and I'm indecisive, and I should be further in life than I am right now, and I'm not very good with money, and your subconscious is listening the whole time, and it's kind of going, oh, okay. Well, if that's you, then I have to make sure that's your reality. You keep on telling me you're these things. So we need to be working, like, we need to be congruent, like we need to be aligned. So if you're telling me you're not worthy of happiness and you're a misfit and you're stupid, I'm going to make sure stupid things happen to you, and I'm going to make sure your life kind of sucks, because that's what you're telling me. So you need, again, to start telling yourself a different lie, because you're basically telling yourself a lie because that's not true. You need to tell yourself a different lie, a different story, and you need to get a different belief system going. And yes, it's that easy. Hard to believe, right? You thought life had to be so difficult. You thought it had to be so complicated. Life is actually very, very simple. It's very simple. It's doing, first of all, it's acting in a way that makes you feel good. Like, I mean that in a way of, you loving yourself, you're going to start to love others more. You're going to start, giving off more loving feelings out in the universe, more loving energy out in the universe, and it's going to come right back to you. It, like I say, it's simple. It's sort of like, it's do unto others what you want them to do to you. It comes back to very simple, whether you want to call it proverbs or religious belief or scripture or just, beautiful laws of the universe. They're very, very simple. And I don't know why we're arguing with these laws. It's like, do we argue with the law of gravity? Maybe it's because we can see gravity every day in front of our eyes. But what if I told you all those other laws are true as well? What if you start practicing them, and see what might happen? Why not be a kid? Be curious. Try it out and see what happens. But again, it's continuing to do this and having faith without evidence. It's not up to you to know when it's going to happen. It's up to the universe. But your belief of it will happen, as long as your belief stays there, it will come. It's this goal or something better. Like sometimes we think we know what we want. But when it comes down to it, we and things transpire, we realize, okay, well, I kind of thought I wanted to be CEO of XYZ Corporation, but now that I'm here, I realize that maybe that's not what I want. And this is what I want. It's always this or something better. But it's the belief that's the energy that gets you there. Belief, trust, faith. And that also, I didn't talk about this, but I talk a lot about success, but success in life means also success with your health, right? If you have health, you have nothing. So it's not all about acquiring wealth and money. Wealth, I mean, yes, it is crying about acquiring wealth, because to me, wealth is health. It's relationships. It's like you could be extremely wealthy living in a van down by the river. If you love fishing and you love being in nature, and that's what makes you healthy, you're also wealthy. If you got if you sell a few fish and it's enough to buy you some clothes and get some veggies in there once in a while, just not just fish, like that's all you need, right? I mean, like it's wealth to like it's so different for everyone. Your version of wealth might be very different from another person's version of wealth, but I can kind of guarantee you everyone is going to want health connected to their wealth. So take care of yourself, take care of your physical body, take care of your mental, your spiritual part of you, your emotional, physical, spiritual part, and you will be wealthy. No one can judge you for what wealth means to you. You just go. You go for it. Nike has that slogan. Oh my God, it just escaped me. Nike has a slogan. Just do it. Just do it. Hey, you know what? I almost said I'm having a post-menopause moment or elderly moment when I lost my thought. It's sort of like, no, I'm not going to tell myself that. I'm going to tell myself my mind, my memory is like a steel trap. My memory is amazing. I remember things from, years ago. Like, again, watch what you're telling yourself. Okay. So just wanted to show you that. But just like the Nike slogan, just do it, which is, I think, one of the best slogans out there. It's sort of like, don't blame, don't complain, don't justify why you can't do it. Just do it. But my option, I mean, my slogan is, this is not an option. This is not an option. This is where I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I have faith, trust, and belief dust that I am going to get there. And I'm perfect just the way I am, with all my flaws, with all my quirks. I am perfect, perfect. And whatever happened in the past, happened in the past. I am an adult now. I have an adult mind. I'm going to take full responsibility for my feelings. I'm going to take full responsibility for my actions. I'm going to take full responsibility for where I am right now, whatever that situation is. And I'm going to start living this life and acting in a way that I, feel worthy. Like, if I feel worthy of love, then I need, and I feel like, and if I want to, I want respect, I need to start respecting others. And I need to, give off that same love that I want coming to me. So start treating your neighbor the way you want to be treated. Stop the judgment. Stop the complaining. Stop the blaming. Celebrate other people's successes like you were celebrating your own. Allow them to marinate in that success and that joy, and just do it with them, knowing that you can, if they did it, you can do the same thing. You're no different than them. All right. Kind of feel like I don't know, like I'm either a teacher or like a mother, and I've just sort of like taught you guys a lesson, but don't take it in that way. I'm using these same things with myself every single day, like I go off course, I get funky at times. I doubt myself at times. I have fears, but one step in front of the other every single day is what's going to bring you success. 100% guaranteed. All right. With that, have a great week, guys, and I will see you here next week. Bye-bye. Thanks once again for joining me on another great episode of I Think I Can podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And until next week, treat each day like it was your last, because each new day is a privilege that we shan't take for granted. Cheers and have a great week. Bye-bye.